Okay, everybody, good evening and welcome back to our career exploration series. This is already our 7th night that we're here at 9 o'clock on COL, sharing different industries that are popular in our community for you to learn, listen, and learn about the industry as a chance to, to explore your options that are out there. So we've done a lot of different types of industries. And tonight we figured we're going to do one that's especially, very popular, particularly with women, and that is the hairstylist and Shaitel Macher. This is a very popular industry that many in our community find a career pathway to. And I'm excited tonight. We have an excellent host that's going to come and share about the industry. But before we do that, once again, I just wanted to the JCC Workforce Program is here in Crown Heights year-round to help with all your career and job needs. We have a free career counseling, resume prep, interview prep, and job placement services that are free for the community. And of course, the workshops and educational programs that we do to help you take the next step or the right step to launch your career or to start a new job. And so especially during this time that we're in right now, where the whole economy is going through so many changes, we thought it's a good time to give people a chance to explore different avenues that are out there. And so tonight, of course, we're going to explore the hairstyling and Shaitel Macher industry. And I have with me, and you could now turn on your camera, my sister, Hindi Greenberg, who was very popular hairstylist and Shaitel Macher here in Crown Heights for many, many years, until recently she decided to make the move out to Muncie. And so she's starting from scratch now, but she really in the industry for many, many years and has tremendous experience. And so we're going to ask her to share. Of course, our style, as always, is we want you to talk about the industry, what it's like, and, working for yourself, working for others, how to get into the industry, what are the financial opportunities within the industry, and 20-minute presentation. And then we'll allow you to, those of you that are watching, our email address, workforce@jccgci.org, as you see it over here on the document, or it's actually in the article on COL. You could see our email address. You could send in questions, or we could send you a login to join live and we're streaming from Zoom. So your preference, send us those questions and Hindi will respond to them. Again, our focus really is on the industry. It's not about per se, technique, although you could mention a few of those things, but it's really about the, how to get into the industry. And so Hindi, I'm going to pass the microphone to you. Please, just say hello.
Oh, hello.
Okay, good. So
I can't see my view here.
Okay, it's fine. You don't need to see your view. We see you nice and clear.
Oh, I do need to see my view.
Okay, well.
How can I see my view? Oh boy. Oh, okay. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you for that grand introduction. You actually stole my line. In case you were wondering, you're like, hey, Rabbi Wordy and Hindi Greenberg, they kind of look alike. It's because we're brother and sister. And thank you so much for having me tonight. It's an honor and a pleasure. Okay, so as you know, speaking in front of large crowds and like this is not really part of my job description. So when my brother asked me if I would do this, a few weeks back, I didn't want to say no. And I said, sure, no problem. It's great. I mean, it's a great opportunity. I'd love to help somebody and, speak about my career and all that. But as the days progressed, I do not lie. I started getting very nervous and, a little anxious. So I decided to reach out to Alexa. And I said, Alexa, before public speaking, Alexa, how do I prepare myself for a public speech? So Alexa said, turn on some very soft music. Okay, that was a good idea. So we did that. And then I said, Alexa, tell me more. And Alexa said, it's always good to start off your public speech with a joke. So what, I should start off my speech with a hairstylist joke? I don't know, that didn't really sit well with me. So, and then it dawned on me that I actually wanted to know from Alexa if it was like a thing to drink wine before a public speech, you know, to calm you. So I said, Alexa, is it a good idea to drink wine before a public speech? And Alexa says, I don't know about that. Okay, so not wine, fine. Coffee! Okay, after I drink coffee, I'm really pumped. So maybe coffee is the thing to drink before a public speech. So I said, Alexa, is it a good idea to drink coffee before a public speech? And Alexa says, I'm not sure about that. Oh, gosh, not coffee. So since Alexa wasn't sure about wine or coffee, I decided to have both. And so I'm very calm and very charged at the same time. Okay, this is very interesting. I just see myself. Okay, so I'm going to start off by telling you my personal journey in the wig industry, because I think my journey can offer lots of valuable information on somebody who is just starting out. So, oh, I also have water to keep it neutral. Okay, let's go back 19 years ago. When I was 19 years old, do the math, and now you know my age. And I was fresh out of seminary, and I didn't know what to do with myself. What should I be? Should I be this? Should I be that? No prior experience in the wig industry, in the hair industry. I didn't play with people's hair in high school or cut people's hair. So I quickly just got myself a job in the diamond district, and in the interim, I looked through the Jewish press. It was like very popular then. I went to the classified section in the Jewish press, and I flipped through to all the ads, and I started looking through to see which of the job descriptions resonated with me. So, okay, not working in the jewelry, selling jewelry. Teacher, no. Working with senior citizens, no. And then I saw a ad for a Shaitel course. I said, that's interesting. That resonates with me. That attracts me. I'm interested in that. So I took $1,000 from my own money. I think that's important to pay for something that you think will be worthwhile with your own hard-earned money. So I took my own money, and I took this course. Of course, they're not very informative, and they really spit you out knowing very little information. But I did take this course, and then I went back to work. I was like, oh gosh, like I enjoyed doing that Shaitel course. I must do something with it. So it happened to be that my older sister, Basi, was in the wig industry as well. She worked in a repair department of a wig manufacturing company. And I said, Basi, could you ask all the wig stylists that come in looking for wigs, can you just ask if any of them are looking for an assistant or, some worker in the salon? I'll work for anybody. I don't care. I'll get paid whatever they want. I mean, I'll work for nothing. I don't care. Just get me a job. So she actually found me a job by a wig stylist in Cedarhurst, which was pretty far. I was living in Crown Heights at the time, and I didn't care. It was a 45-minute commute there and back. I had to get a ride to work, but it was amazing. It got me into the wig world, and I learned amazing techniques on how to blow dry and all that. And after 7 months, when I had already a really nice amount of training, I was like, okay, this is a little difficult to travel so far. So let me see if I can find a job in Crown Heights. So I already had somewhat of a resume building. You know, I took a Shaitel course and I worked at a hairdresser, a wig stylist already. Let me see. So I approached a bigger, more popular hairdresser. Many of you know her. Her name is Razy Schwartz. She's awesome. And I approached her and I said, you know, hi, I'm Hindy Greenberg. And I mean, wordy at the time. You know, I work for so-and-so wig stylist in Cedarhurst, and I have this amount of training, and I really want to work for you. And I'll be happy with, I was making $7 an hour in Cedarhurst. I said, I'll be happy with $7 an hour. This way I don't even have to commute, like $7 an hour. That's amazing. So she had to think about it. And a while later, she did call me back and she said she was interested in hiring me and she would pay me $10 an hour. Oh, and I was thrilled. $10 an hour. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I took the job and I apprenticed by her. I worked really hard and learned a ton. I worked for her for 3 years, and kind of hard that I don't have like human interaction here, but okay. Okay, so I worked for her for 3 years, and in the interim, I was seeing, okay, so I was doing wash and sets by her mainly, and some consultations. I would go and look for wigs for people who were her clients, but I would go help find wigs for her clients. And in the interim, getting a lot of experience and asking her to teach me new things. It was great. And then on the side, like in the evening, if anyone would ask me, I would take wash and sets on the side. So after 3 years, I already had enough clients built up at the side that it was just, it wasn't really worth it to go into work anymore. It was time for me to move off on my own. So I said goodbye and all on good terms. And that's when I started working on my own. Okay, so the problem with that was, so I got amazing training with wash and sets, and I started working on my own. And once you start doing a lot of wash and sets, you gain a lot of clientele, and people start trusting you. They really want to buy a wig from you, and they really want you to cut their wig. But I was like, I didn't really know how to cut because it wasn't something that I learned on the job of apprenticing for another wig stylist. So I was like, oh gosh, I need to learn how to cut because these people want me to cut their wigs and I want to cut their wigs, but like how? So I got myself a stack this big of VHS how to cut hair videos. And then I got myself a stack this big of DVD videos on how to cut wigs. And I would pull them out and teach myself. Okay, but like, that wasn't so good. Didn't work so well. I had a lot of questions. Okay, so I decided I need to cut. I mean, I was cutting, but I wasn't really cutting, So I decided I'm going to hire a private tutor. So I put an ad in Craigslist and I said, looking for someone to teach me how to cut hair, willing to pay. I put the ad on Craigslist and I waited to see if anybody responded. And I did. I got a lot of responses. It was amazing. And I hired a private tutor and it went really well. I think that might be a way for someone to learn. It went really well. I learned amazing techniques and all that. But, okay, so this is a few years down the line. I still wasn't feeling like complete. I can't explain it, like complete, like I just knew everything. So I begged my husband, I'm already married with 3 kids. And I just begged my husband, I'm like, please, can I go to cosmetology school? I want to so badly. And there's nothing more important to me than to have my degree in cosmetology and to just feel like a professional was like so important to me. So, you know, it was a lot of work on his part, but finally we made it work. And at this point I was already, you know, had a full-fledged business. I had an employee and I was working full time, and I minimized it. So I went to cosmetology school. I had my assistant come in all day, and I went to school during the day and had my assistant doing all my wash and sets, answering the phone calls and preparing everything that I needed to for the evening. And I would just go to school the whole day and then work at night. And that's how I did it for 7 months straight. And it was really difficult, but an amazing, amazing experience. I want to show you the name of the school I went to, called Arrojo Cosmetology School. I highly, highly recommend it. Top-notch education. And I still at times will go back to my notes and, you know, review something that I learned. And I grew so much from that. Okay, so that was 8 years ago. Oh my gosh, 8 years ago. So I got my cosmetology license, and it's been great ever since. Fast forward 8 years, and I just moved out of Crown Heights. Me and my family decided that we wanted to have a change of lifestyle, and we moved to Pomona, New York, which is a small little village right near Muncie. And I have hopes of growing there and gaining trust of all the women in that community. I mean, not all, but, you know, many. Okay. So where are we up to? Wine. Coffee. Water. Okay. So, what's my advice for you? You know, is this something that you were thinking about doing? How can you get into the industry? It's actually, you know, it's a pretty closed community. Shaitel Machers, I can't say are the biggest sharers of technique. Like you really have to, you have to learn either from hairdressers and try to bring that technique into your work. But I think the best idea for somebody who is looking to go into the industry would be to apprentice, get a job. By, you know, I would look for top Shaitel Machers, shoot for the best, and, you know, send them a resume. Okay, even if you have no resume, like you're straight out of seminary, you don't have anything to show for yourself. You're like, hey, my name is Chaya Mushka, and I am super bubbly and a positive person, and I think that the wig world is the direction I want to go in, and I'm a great worker and a hard worker, and I'm willing to please, and I'm willing, you know, and money's not an issue, blah blah blah. And you know, I don't know if you're hiring yet, but please keep me in mind. And I know for myself, if I'm looking to hire, I will likely scroll back to anyone who has messaged me previously and reach out to them before I would go through the whole process of trying to find an assistant. So that's a great way of getting into the industry. What else? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, so if you are just straight out of seminary, if you could afford the time, I really would recommend going to cosmetology school, because having that foundation and knowledge before you go into the hair industry is really amazing. So I would suggest going into that first. And when you're apprenticing, what another good thing is, when you're apprenticing, you're going to figure out what part of the industry you enjoy going into. So it could be washing and setting, or it could be cutting, or it could be coloring, it could be wig repairs, it could be consultations on selling people wigs, or maybe you want to go into wig manufacturing. That's all something that when you're apprenticing, you're already getting yourself into the industry, and you'll get a very good idea of which part of it you like. Like one of my assistants, she was amazing at wash and sets, and when she, you know, moved on from working for me, she she just did wash and sets. And then, you know, another assistant of mine, she was amazing at consultations. And I think that that's an area where she focused on when she moved on. So look, I hired two girls for the same job, but one loved one part and one loved the other. So how do you know which one you're going to love until you know, go work for somebody, and then you could see, you can get paid and then see. So I would recommend that. Okay. Oh, I said that. Yeah. I do have some suggestions of people you could reach out to if you're looking for a specific type of wig stylist who do wig repairs, or someone who's specifically doing hairdressing, or someone who's specifically doing wig styling. These are all people you could reach out to and see if they're looking for assistance or an internship or someone that just helped them on the side. I think it would be a good idea for you to